Hey there my street folk. Today I will finally compare my M11 to the M9. Wait, what? I get an M11? Yes, it has been a couple of months, yet the weather has been pouring all it has lately, so I couldn't handle it enough to make a full-on review yet. But I had a day with the M9 and I took my chances to make a quick comparison. I was mostly curious about the M9 because the M8 and the M240 weren't anywhere nearly good as my M10. I am telling this as my own opinion, of course. Your taste in color and needs of a sensor may vary, but for my everyday usage, M10 with its high dynamic range and true to life colors, I had to spend minimal amount of time on my pictures taken, and it kinda made the premium amount of money spent on the camera all right. And I think it is safe to say your money would be well spent on the M9 as well. Yet, there's a caveat. It has all these amazing colors due to its Kodak-made sensor. And that special-made CCD sensors are prone to the corrosions. They will get it sooner or later. So did this one. Even after I took it through a good wet cleaning, it still had these marks. They were slight and didn't really show in the picture, so they were quite avoidable for my review. But since they are there, they will start to grow for sure, and that makes the M9 a gem. But in my search of a more budget-friendly M line of cameras, I fancied this the most. So with that, let's see the dynamic range.
Well, I got two sets of pictures for the dynamic range comparison, and this is one of that. Well, if you can see here, the highlights are clipping on the M9 and they are not so much clipping on the M11P. Well, that's to be expected, of course, with the 20 years apart in between the cameras. Well, we can see this wall here, the highlights are pretty clipped. Here we have almost all the details. Now, in further review's sake, I am shooting on the M11 in the medium DNG formats, which is 36 megapixels or something. So we are in a similar ballgame area. For the CCD sensors, resolving the sharper results anyway, I only set it up exposures and the white balances of the photos, and sometimes a little bit contrast for your information. Not easy holding one camera in one hand without any straps. Ooh, there's a shot, there's a shot. Here they come. Just for the comparison's sake. So, let's hope he stops the same way again. As you can see, it isn't so bad. I wouldn't compare it to today's cameras, but in comparison to the M8 and the M240, I found it to be the sharpest and with better colors and cleaner picture of, which are closer to the M10. I am not even getting into the dynamic range in the darker situations, otherwise the haters will hate. But I can easily say it is much better than the other two cameras mentioned earlier. And that brings us to our conclusion. If I was to make a choice between the cameras that came out before the M10, it is not a brainer. This is the best camera to get, especially nowadays with the price tags as low as the $1,500. For these cameras, it is definitely more bang for your buck. Stay tuned for the last comparison that remains: the M10 versus the M11. Thanks for watching, guys, and hang in there.